in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Together update with a half full mouth. Sorry. I was getting ready to go live, and I'm like, man, I am really hungry. So I went and heated up a couple of hot links. I don't usually eat on camera. Even when in meetings and stuff, I'll turn my camera to the side. Hopefully you don't hear me chomping away. There's nothing worse than hearing somebody else eat. Right. Yeah. If I can hear you chewing, I'm probably thinking about your death. That was about time for a Trudging Together update. Got some cool things going on. Not huge, but they make a difference. You know, really, that's what we're trying to do, right? Make a difference. So, we're going to talk about a few things. And, you know, I found that most answers are usually simple and pretty straightforward. Right. But, we're going to talk about a few things that are going on. More than anything that I'm happy about is that we're getting some AA meetings in places that we really need it. In detoxes, stuff. I don't want to give them all away. Right. Well, there's some people out there that don't want me doing what I'm doing. So they listen in, and stuff. So yeah, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. No. Here's my list of people coming on the. Oh, you don't get to see it that long. You'll have to go back and pause the video to see it. Welcome to Daily Trudge. If you're here, please say hello. I've got several people coming on, but I can't really give some names yet because some of them might have anonymity, right? So yeah. Hi, Angel. And Angel's putting up music notes. In fact, you guys want to hear the new Daily Trudge song? No, it is not taking over the original, but this was the first song Odd Duck put out. So check this out real quick.
We've been walking down these same old streets. Some days strong, some days barely here. They told us fix it, label the pain. But we keep standing anyway. This feels like home if you're standing alone. No finish line, just keep moving on. We don't fake it, we don't pretend.
All right, that is the Daily Trudge by Odd Duck Out, the Trudging Together AI band. I like that I can reduce the sound while I'm talking over it. It makes me feel like I'm on the radio. Hi, Amber. Hi, Amber. All right. So yesterday, um, got to go do a tour of the new detox. That's right. I was invited. I was invited. Yeah. I think I was probably one of the only people from the community there. In other words, I was the only person really there that wasn't getting paid for being there. So, Mayor Kaufman was there, several people. They put a lot of work into that, and I would like to give some kudos to Aurora Mental Health for taking their time for doing this correctly. Um, I was actually impressed, and I am not easily impressed. It takes a lot. But yeah, wow, and it's hard to explain, right? Um, the rooms are nice, the view is nice, the views are nice. It feels, because the old East Metro Detox, is an old army barracks, and it just doesn't feel healing, right? Um, yeah, new bathrooms, and it looks really nice. They've done a great job. They did a good job of thinking of the employees. That was one of my biggest concerns. It wasn't just the clients going there, but the people that work at Detox, we need them. These people with servants' hearts that are working at Detox so they can be helpful. I tell you now, they ain't making that much money. So they deserve a nice place, you know. The old Detox doesn't even have a coffee machine, right? As a place, and you can, and there's a place to go sit outside too. Okay, no, they won't be able to smoke there. Okay, all right. Still no smoking. I wish they would have a smoking area, but when you take government money, you got to follow government rules, right? So detoxing it's switching a little bit. Most of it is what we would call a peer-led detox. Now, the new detox that are coming out, and this is what I appreciate about Aurora Mental Health. It's not taking effect for another 6 months to a year, year and a half, maybe. But all detoxes in Colorado will now need to be clinical in nature. That means that there are nurses and doctors on staff that are there. And why does this really help us out? Because a lot of times, like when I'm getting ready to talk about Salvation Army here, um, um, in order to go to Salvation Army, you need to have all your meds together and you need to have a 30-day supply because you're on blackout for the first 30 days. That's why it's important. Making sure that number one, that the client is safe, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. All right. And this takes different types of people. It takes people with servants' hearts who are non alcoholic, who have gone and gotten the education to help people with goal setting and setting up a plan that's going to work for them. We need the people that make these people willing or help these, not make them get willing, but help them become willing by sitting down and sharing our own experience, strength, and hope and what we've been through and things like that. Right. And it takes a tribe to get somebody and keep them sober. Yeah. So they did finalize it yesterday. In fact, Vanessa went out of the way. She went out of the way to make sure that I got to see the meeting room, which I thought was really cool because she was really busy. She didn't have to do that. Give me one. I also ran into Kathy while I was there. She is the assistant to the director of Aurora Mental Health, right? But and she turned around, I'm like, hey Kathy. She looks at me, she's like, who are you? I'm like, it's Dion. Right. She's never met me face to face. And the last time she saw me, I didn't have any hair. And I probably had a goatee on. So and she's like, oh, I didn't recognize you. And it was just so cool to see how happy was that I was there. I really appreciate, but this room, oh man, it's nice. It is perfect. It is perfect. Right. Now I'm not getting entirely what I want here. And that's okay. Because what I want to do is have an AA meeting for the clients that are currently in detox, but we're not quite there yet. What they want us to do is hold AA meetings for the general public. So they're going to be open meetings, okay? But that means anybody can attend. This might change. And who knows? Because I don't know if I can have a hybrid meeting with clients in the room. I don't know if that blows HIPAA. It might have to be a safe, secure. There might have to be certain securities, right? Or maybe they just sign something saying, "Yeah, it's okay that I'm going to be on camera in an AA meeting," because it doesn't really go anywhere. It's not being recorded or anything like that. Um, but so these are little nuances that we need to figure out. Um, I'm thinking the ideal time would be Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And you let me know. What do you guys think on that? What do you think would be a good time to hold a meeting at Detox? Thursday night's kind of a special night, right, for alcoholics. Because for us, that's the beginning of the weekend. It is, right? Ladies' night is Thursday nights. Karaoke nights usually see a lot of things happen on Thursdays. There's something about Thursday night and wanting to drink. Pre-gaming Friday. You know what I'm talking about. All right. If you don't know what Trudging Together is about, it is the parent company to Raw Recovery, the Daily Trudge, Two Sober Guys, God Centered Recovery, pretty much everything that I do that is not necessarily AA itself, right? So, and this meeting also will be called Grassroots. Yeah, I'm planning on staying. Grassroots is gonna have to stay, or maybe it's just called the East Metro Detox Meeting. Who knows, right? But it also probably needs to be a newcomers meeting. This means that it's going to also be a sponsorship meeting. See, it gets to be a lot of different things. It's going to do a lot of different things for different people. And isn't that what AA is about? Being when anyone anywhere reaches out for help, I want the hand of AA to be there. And for that, I am responsible. I just had a great talk with Salvation Army, the intake coordinator. It was funny because we got on. I'm like, and I'm all, it's nice to meet you. And she says, "Oh, I know who you are." Just like that too. "Oh, I know who you are." Made me paranoid for a second. It's like, "Nah, I've seen you on Facebook for a few years now." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So you already kind of know what I do, and you know that I advocate. You know that I run my mouth. I do that." And we had a fantastic talk. We had a great talk. I'm so glad that that happened because we need an outlet for the unhoused, right? They have 120 beds. They are not even close to capacity. And that's what we're going to change. Yes. I want to fill up those beds. Now, here's the thing. It's exactly what I've been looking for. But This is what happened about 4 or 5 years ago, okay? The Salvation Recovery Arc shut down, and we haven't heard any real because they're not out there. They're like AA, they don't promote. So, really, it's just about letting people know, okay? Now, it's an original this is what I would call an OG sober living, okay? It is a 6-month-long program, and you do not work. No, everything is paid for. They're not going it's not free because of your Medicaid. It's free, which is the way Salvation Army has always been. So you go through the program for 6 months, right? And what are you doing? Well, you're going to AA meetings, you're getting a sponsor, you're working through the steps. In fact, I brought up to them, I'm like, we can have them go through the steps in a day and a half. I'm going through this training myself, right? And this is actually approved through Salvation Army. It's almost a requirement, right? Amber, Thursday would be somewhat doable for me. See, that's awesome. Me, and it's a little bit later too. And the meeting will it's going to most likely be hybrid in the beginning. So, I already got 4 or 5 people that are helping out. All right, and I haven't even really gone to grassroots yet. All right, these are just people. Oh, you're doing that. I want to do it. All right, so, um, but this means that all the unhoused because here's the problem. This has been the problem that that detox deals with a lot. We have somebody who's been unhoused, and they've been unhoused for some time. Okay, there's no treatment centers with Medicaid beds open at the moment, and there never is. There's a waiting list for that, and that's what we're tired of. See, here's the other cool thing. Now, what happens is you go to the program, you're there for 6 months, and you're working on these things. After 6 months, you can go get a job, okay? And they will give you an apartment, which is upstairs, and you can stay in that apartment, and the cost is $800 or 20% or something. So it's a nominal cost because the other part of your money is going to be saved up so that you can go get your own place. They teach how to cook, they teach how to sew, they teach how to reintegrate back into society. It is exactly what we need. So, Amber said, I think I was behind on the video. Oh, well, you let me know, Amber, because I mean, the people that have helped out and they want to be a part of, if that means that we have to do Tuesday because it works out better for a few people, then we'll do it. It just in my gut, that's what came out. Thursdays, 7:00. Right now, this gets better. It gets better. No wait time for treatment. It's been part of the goal. It's been part of what we've been working on. It's not easy. Now, this isn't going to happen until the building off Potomac for East Metro is completed. Right now, they have the detox done and the crisis center. Right. And that will be open February 1st. That is when that is going to open. So that means that I have less than a month to put together this AA meeting. But it shouldn't be too tough if we have a few people. Shouldn't be, in the beginning, it's going to be touch and go. We'll work on it. So once that building is done, it doesn't matter if you're going to go to Salvation Army or their treatment center. There's no wait time anymore. That's what it'll be. See, the whole part of detox becoming 100% clinical, it's good and it's bad, but it's more good than it is bad. It kind of leaves peers out of it, okay? But that's okay, because I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to be plain with. They don't trust us. They don't trust the peer community. It okay, just because stuff happened, and there's not much trust there. There's not much trust for recovery coaches and stuff in Colorado because there's some people who've done some very unethical things. In fact, I was just when I was talking to right now I'm forgetting everybody's name. Um when I was talking with Angela, that was her name, Angela, right? Angela Williams. I was talking to her about something, and that came up too. And she's like, "Yes, they're not hiring right now for that stuff because there's no trust, right?" Well, considering I haven't taken a dime for anything that I've done, my trust is almost automatic, right? Am I getting everything that I want the way that I want it? No, but this is God's world. Wayne's World, party on, excellent. All right. So we finally got some answers. We have a few more ways out. Yeah. All right, the podcast. What I'm trying to get to as far as raw recovery goes, which is the podcast where people tell their stories or it's topical, one of the two. All right. I want to have one of those a week, which means I need to have 4 guests every single month, which shouldn't be too hard. I will do the best that I can, but I've got, Jeff Allen's coming up on the 21st. That's gonna be a big one for me. I have some other people going where I think you really enjoy a lot of the stuff that we're gonna be bringing. Just like I was telling Angela, and this is why I like Salvation Army. They're 12-step based. Their recovery is 12-step based, and it is not clinical. No, nope, that part is not clinical. They send their clinical stuff out. Okay, a lot of it is peer led with some people that are willing to not make much but still want to help people that have, their bachelor's degrees and stuff, right? And we need these people. Right? Now, recovery isn't just clinical. It is also very spiritual, right? And this is where Salvation Army and I agree that, because they're Christian. Salvation Army is a Christian company, okay? But they don't necessarily go into the Bible. They use this big blue book. This is what they use, along with other things that help you out, like what you go to therapy for, goal setting, how and learning new skills. What do we do when we get angry? What do we do if we're in this situation? If we're doing this, we're doing that. See, so it goes beyond, and this is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Right? Haven't heard back from Community Reach Center yet. They were trying to figure out if we hold a meeting at their inpatient ones at Stride. So I'm probably, it's 3:33 by the way. So I'm probably gonna send them an email today. Hey, where are we at with that? Or, I think Michael got kind of mad at me because I ended the meeting. But if he doesn't understand that it was just a waste of everybody's time and expenses, and there's a better way to do it. There was a couple of restraints on that one. Number one, we couldn't have any meeting later than 3:30, because then go to 4:30, they close at 5, and then nobody's there. That's why I was thinking that the inpatient is better, because then we can have those meetings at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. That's really when those need to happen. Right. So there's more opportunity there. Um, I have a few other ideas going on I'd like to see happen. We need another central office up north here because the Denver central office moved even further south, right? And we need something up here, right? So these little challenges and things going on. But it's an exciting time. Things are now changing. Things are now reverting, right? And what I say I was doing this last year, I was being proactive, okay? And what I was doing is looking for the correct resources for whatever situation. Now I went through a lot and I ended up with 3. That should tell you. And it's not easy work to do. I had to test it, things like that. And when the other side isn't done, then I know something's going on, if that makes sense. Because everybody knows that Dion is the outspoken one. And if I'm around and you're doing something wrong, we all know I'm probably going to say something. So I feel like a lot of people have that fear so let me kind of tell you something. Even if you are doing something wrong, if you're willing to make it right, do it the right way, then let's do it. People can change. Companies can change. I watch Community Reach Center do it. Community Reach Center used to be at the top of my shit list. Okay. But then they came along, they got rid of the bad apples, and they changed it. Isn't that what we're supposed to be about? Hey, we were doing it the wrong way. So we're going to change it now. I have a lot of respect for that. So it went from them being on the top of my shit list to being a fantastic resource. And they really, really are. And I can tell because the people that work there enjoy working there. It is an indicator for me. Right. So what's next on my list? Denver Cares is next on my list. It's time to reach out to them, get and talk to the outreach person. And all I'm doing is I'm just going to connect all these things together. Say, if you need it, then you go here. If you need it there. And I'm creating lines of communication because there's no communication. And the other thing that we're getting rid of is the competition aspect. There is no competition in recovery. It's not how it works, right? It's about taking care of the needs of the person who is going through the crisis currently. That's what we do here, all right? So, yeah, a lot of neat stuff going on. I'm curious to see what God has planned for 2026. Okay. But I will let you know there would probably be not much recovery money, much recovery money again this year. Now everything's being audited, and sooner or later, Colorado recovery will be audited, and that's when everything will come out. So there's not much more I really need to do on that. It's going to be taken care of. So now is the time to start touting these resources that don't get, you know, this is just something else I said to Angela. I said, because she was talking about Signal and Copa. I'm like, Signal and Copa are the same thing. We're talking about recovery being popular. I'm like, and the only people they endorse are the people that give them lots of money. And it's true. Yeah. Now, Salvation Army is not a government program, so I'm a lot more comfortable with it. And they've been doing it a long time. They have a great program. So it's a relief to know that I now have a safe place to send the unhoused. And I know that they're not going to be abused because there's no money to abuse them with. So, all right. All right. I think that's everything. I always have other plans, but whether they work out or not is something entirely different. But You know, this makes me think of the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And sure, there's a lot of things in this world that I cannot change, right? But I can help people change their minds by being a better person, by educating. Um, you know, I had to start with myself, though. I had to start with me. Okay? But when there's enough of us and we go out there, we can make changes. Yeah, just yesterday, okay, I wa people were asking about the detox, and they were saying, "Thank you for doing that." And and I lowered myself. I said, "You know, out of everything that was done, I probably did 0.0001% of that." And Amber says, there he is, making it seem like he didn't do much. So thank you for that, Amber. I appreciated that. I did put a lot of effort into it, a lot of my personal time. Yeah. Fun fact, Heather says, fun fact, Seven Army Nation by the White Stripes is how Jack White misheard Salvation Army as a child. Huh. Horrible drummer in that band. I think that's probably the only Jack White song I know. All right. But we can. We can make changes in our own community. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take assistance. It takes a lot of things, right? I mean, I'm still up Adams County about putting the other detox in. In fact, I'm going to write them today because they're like, "Well, I have something for you in January." Well, here we are, January 7th. West Pines said they were going to write me back in January. Still waiting on them. See, I know. And yes, I'm going to go after West Pines to see if I can't, you know, because they don't have any AA meetings. This is just about me, you know. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. We have meeting an hour and 18 minutes if you'd like to join us. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for the support through the years and understanding. Yeah, I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and keep on